Hey, hi Roshni, how are you? And welcome to White Collar Podcast. My whole team, White Collar Podcast, welcome you in this. We are honored to have you on this podcast, and let's see how it goes and how we collaboratively value add the audience. And let's see the podcast, the flow, and how the people can learn from your journey. And that's all.
Thank you so much for having me here. This is the first time I'm doing a podcast, and this is like something that's ticked off my bucket list.
Oh, that's great. So, my first question is about let's start with college days and how your college journey started. So, many people or many parents have expectations. My daughter, my son should will be doctor and a engineer, but you are from liberal studies. So, what motivated you to come in this liberal studies journey or this school of liberal studies?
Right. So I've been very lucky. My parents have always been so relaxed and so motivating. They've always let me do whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I've been very self-motivated all throughout my life. They've never had to tell me that, okay, study or do this or do that.
Okay.
So we have that understanding. Liberal studies, the reason was, well, in my 11th and 12th, I already knew that I wanted to do economics. That was something I was very sure about.
Yeah.
And yet, I chose liberal studies because I'm a very curious person.
Okay.
I love learning about everything. And it's on my bucket list to, eventually when I have a lot of time on my hands to either learn about history or physics, these things that I've not touched upon.
Yeah.
Liberal studies gives you that option to not just stick to one subject, but also pick up other aspects that would help you out.
Yeah.
So for example, I'm doing economics with my minor in finance and my additional minor in international relations,
Okay.
which is something I may not have gotten to do at other places.
Yeah, for sure.
And one thing I'd like to add, so music has been a huge thing all throughout my life, which is actually how we know each other as well.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the reasons I chose liberal studies for myself, because music is something I can constantly pursue. And one important thing I would like to share, that people have this notion that students go into liberal studies when they don't know what they want to do. That is not true.
Yeah.
You don't have to go into liberal studies only when you're not sure what you want to do with your life. I was very sure about economics, and yet here I am, and I learned a lot.
Oh, that's great. That's very inspiring story. So, what were some of the topics related to economics which inspired you? What interested you to come into this economics field?
Okay, so I do have a couple of things in mind when it comes to economics, and I'm going to take you through the things that interest me.
Yeah.
So hopefully everybody listening will also, get interested in economics. I love the fact, of course, that economics, it's a subject that can help people.
Yeah.
Right? When we talk about economics, what is it? It talks about the scarcity of resources.
Yeah.
And on the other side, you have unlimited wants. So how do you bridge the gap between these two things?
Yeah.
And that's what you use to help people and to make a difference in the world. But apart from that, when we look at connected subjects, like we look at statistics.
Yeah.
Okay, can I share a fun fact with you?
For sure, yeah.
Alright. So, statistically, more people in the United States are killed by cows than sharks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, now when we think about it, cows are very gentle animals and sharks are dangerous. So there's a huge question mark there. Why is this happening? The reason is more people come in contact with cows every year than sharks. You see, this is something economics tells you.
Oh, yeah.
We don't look at this side. One more small fun fact I'd like to share with you guys, if that's okay. Because honestly, economics, I could just talk about it for hours. I will not do that.
No issues.
But in the 1600s in Netherlands, the very first economic bubble took place. Now, an economic bubble is when the value of an asset exceeds the actual value of the asset. So, for example, if I have a 10 rupee pen, which is supposed to be of 10 rupees, but instead it's on the market for, let's say, 100 rupees, 200 rupees, that's a bubble.
Yeah.
The asset is overvalued, it will burst. In the 1600s in Netherlands, this thing called tulip mania happened,
Okay.
where tulip flowers, which are very famous in the country till date when it comes to tourists, were so heavily overpriced that you could buy a house with one tulip flower. Can you believe that?
Oh my God.
That's economics, and it's all about the behavior of people and how we value things and how that impacts the overall functioning of the financial system. So economics is fun.
Oh, that's great. That's really great. So recently, I would like to tell the audience that she was the CEO of the month in the Adecco company. She represented India. And how did you get this opportunity?
All right. So Adecco Adecco India falls under the Adecco Group.
Yeah.
TAG, you may see it as TAG some places. And this is a company that's the second largest human resource provider in the world. And they do this wonderful competition every year where they select one person in every country to be the CEO for 1 month for that specific country. So for 1 month, you essentially follow around the country CEO. You learn from them. You see what they're doing. You're basically their shadow for the entire month. How I found out about it was I was in my third year. And you know how in third year, everybody is doing internships. Right? And I'm sitting at home wondering, what am I doing? I'm so lost. I'm not sure what I'm doing. But I was very sure about one thing. I did not want to pick up the first thing that came my way because it came my way. I did not want to do something just because everybody is doing something.
Yeah, you don't want to be hurt.
Exactly. So I was scrolling through Unstop. Unstop is this
D2C, I guess.
Yes, exactly. It's D2C, Dare to Compete. The name has been changed to Unstop. I was scrolling through and I saw this name, CEO for 1 month, and that instantly captured my interest. And so I looked at what the company was. I applied. It was as simple as that. That's when stuff actually began. To give you an idea of what the process
yeah.
So the first thing I had to do was I had to put in my resume. So I did that, and then I was chilling. I waited, and then I heard back from them. And they said that we'll do an online test. So the online test that I had to go through was an aptitude and attitude test. There were 3 facets to it. The first was a situation-based test wherein you were given one situation and multiple options on how you would deal with it. So, for example, you have some sort of a conflict with a colleague. How do you deal with that? Those were the things that those were the questions.
So that was based on this MCQ, or that we have to write an essay or something?
No, it was multiple choice, but it was quite interesting because you would have 4 options, 4 ways that you could deal with the situation, and then you sort them into appropriate and not appropriate. So it was a little different. After that, we also had this personality test, wherein you were given 3 statements and you had to choose one that best described you. So, for example, I work well with deadlines. I enjoy working in a routine, or I am very creative. You choose the one which is most accurate to you. And the third test was the aptitude test, which was very interesting. I have not seen a test like this before. The questions were, of course, on understanding your logical reasoning and your time management, all of those things, your decision making. And they were of this sort. For an example, they'd give you the schedules of 3 people. And they'd say that, okay, you have to finish a certain task and you need all of these 3 people there. So when will you schedule the meeting with these time constraints? It was very interesting. So that was just the first part of the online tests. Then I had a telephonic interview, and then there was a video interview, after which we had a 2-day boot camp in Bangalore. And so for the 2-day boot camp, all in all, there were 26,503 applicants. This number was repeated so many times that we all remember it by now. So out of the 26,000 people, 13 of us were selected to actually come down to Bangalore and spend 2 days at the Adecco office.
Okay.
Where we were given different tasks in teams. We were given problem-solving tasks, presentation, and there was a personal interview. After which, finally, at the end of the 2 days, I guess I got lucky and I got selected.
Oh, that's really interesting. The way you started from D2C and ended at Bangalore.
Yes.
It was like really interesting and exciting, anxiety. Oh.
Absolutely. I would like to say this though, that even getting to the bootcamp was a huge deal because the 2-day process, you learn so much.
Okay.
You learn so much from there.
That's really great. Tell us about Roshni's life as CEO.
Okay. So I have realized through this 1 month that the life of a CEO is very hectic. It's extremely hectic. So anybody who's looking to go into a leadership position in the future, be mentally prepared. You're going to have to sleep while you commute, which is one of the first things the CMD, he taught me, that you have to do this, Roshni.
Okay.
Every morning, 7:30, we would be at the office, 7:30 a.m. So,
Oh my God.
Yeah, had to wake up very early every day. And so the day would start with a lot of meetings. Every Monday, there would be the leadership team meeting, wherein all of the leaders of all departments would sit together and talk about numbers,
Okay.
Have the review of the entire week, what is the plan ahead. All of that would happen every Monday morning. And so throughout the day, I shadowed the CMD here in every meeting that he went to. And through that, I interacted with so many people. And there would be, of course, times where, you're free and you're in the office. So I had the opportunity to just go around the office, knock on anybody's door and just talk to them, ask them questions.
Oh.
It's great, especially because you have these very, very highly experienced and intellectual people sitting in their cabins, and their doors are always open. You're always welcome.
Oh.
It's wonderful. So that is what my day in the office would look like. I made a lot of friends. We'd go have lunch during lunch breaks.
Yeah.
I would have lunch with the leaders also. Depends on, who you run into in the lift.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the evenings were relaxed. Of course, I used to be in the office for like 11 hours. I would leave around 6:30. And then I'd go back to my hotel, either work on my university course or, just walk around.
Yeah.
So this was a typical day in the office. But I also got the opportunity to go to different places. There was this one time where we had to go to Delhi for 24 hours. There was a Fortune 500 event. And I was lucky enough that the CMD, he was a speaker on the panel. So I got to go with him and I got to sit in the audience and just listen to all of these amazing people talk.
That's really great.
But it was so hectic because we left at 3 in the morning today and then we came back at 3 in the morning tomorrow, very hectic, but so much fun.
Oh, that's what we want in the life. It should be balanced.
Yes.
So I want to ask one thing, like talking about this office. So did you get any facilities in the office like many big companies have, like Amazon and all?
Right. Okay. And do you mean like a special cabin or?
No, special cabin. Apart from they have different like gyms, cafe.
Oh yes. So they do have a very nice little cafeteria.
Ambience, they have a good ambience.
Yes. The office is very colorful.
Okay.
It's cubicles, right? You have cubicles everywhere, but the glass on the cubicles is very colorful, and you can see that the people who sit at those desks really make those desks their own. They'll put little sticky notes and pictures and whatnot. And there's a really nice little cafeteria there where you have vending machines and lots of coffee.
Okay.
And there's a pool table, there's a foosball table. I think they had carom, table tennis, all of these things.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's like people take breaks and they go play together, they make friends, they get rid of all of their stress, and then they get back to work.
That's really great. Interesting too. And so, did you get any mentoring from the people and they told you something, and what lessons you learned so you want to share with the audience?
Oh yes, I learned so much. So the very fact that I got to spend so much time with the CEO here was it was great because he constantly mentored me.
Okay.
We would attend meetings together, and then after those meetings he would ask me that, hey Roshni, what did you learn from this, or what did you think about this specific thing? And I had this habit. So as I mentioned, we would go to the office at 7:30 in the morning every day. So I would use that time because meetings don't start until 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I would use that time from 7:30 to 8:30, 9 o'clock to just write everything I've learned the previous day. Because after a good night's sleep, you're able to actually reflect on what happened yesterday and you're able to write it down. So some things that I learned that I'll share are I learned the importance of decision making in management. There may be times where you take a decision which is not perfect and you realize maybe things could have gone another way, but always make sure that whatever decision you're making it with the right intention in mind.
Okay.
And then stand firmly behind it, even if the results are not what you expected. Because the intention matters. That's one thing I realized. I realized how it's so important for a leader to lead by example. Because the CMD here, he would he told me multiple times that I will not do anything that I don't want my employees to do.
Oh.
So when I do the right thing, they see it and they do the right thing as well. And those were some really beautiful things.
That's great. Child follows father.
Absolutely, so well said. Yes.
That's great. So, what skill as CEO separate good leader and great leader?
Oh, this is such a great question. I think one very, very important factor that comes between a good leader and a great leader is that a great leader is approachable.
Okay.
And this is something I saw at Adecco India, that they have an open door policy. The doors of all the leaders are always open, and anybody can go approach them, including the CMD himself. You can knock on his door and say, hi, I was facing an issue, or I had a suggestion, can I book a time with you? And they'll always be ready to help. So people feel heard,
Yeah.
That's very important. Leading is not just about talking, it's also about listening.
Yeah.
And another thing that I noticed here was that great leaders know their organizations really well. So of course, because they're such great listeners, they have an idea of the people who are working there, their strengths, and also where the weaknesses lie. And this is something I noticed in my CMD.
Yeah. That's really great. So it's often said that young people or the young students, the young people from this great new generation cannot be a leader because of lack of experience and skill. So what young people or the young students should focus on learning to seek the position of this big leadership?
Okay. Again, such a great question, because this is something I realized that I need to do as well, because the moment you step onto that floor, you step into that world, you realize there's such a long way to go. One thing is, everybody needs to be very, very open-minded. You have to be ready to learn constantly and ask the right questions to the right people. That's very important when you're wanting to get into leadership.
Again, I just wanted to add one thing, and I think you should use the great opportunity you have. Every opportunity what you are getting daily.
Absolutely, you're so right. On that note, one more thing I wanted to add is that they say in Hindi, koi kaam chota bada nahi hota. And I think that's very true. No work is small or big. Especially when you're learning, every opportunity is a huge opportunity that you need to grab and learn. And always be humble with what you're getting.
Yeah, that's great. So you got this opportunity to be a CEO for the month. How did they help you to accomplish your potential, or how do you are going to use this opportunity in future?
So
I guess I say this is something like मैं CEO तो बन गई, अगर अब मैं लोगों को बताऊंगी तो एक अच्छा इमेज बन गया कि हाँ एक CEO बन गई, तो they will prefer me ahead from the other people. I guess this is the best benefit you got.
that is true, that it definitely looks very good on your resume, right?
Yeah.
And when I tell people that I got into this competition and I won and I did this for a month, the perspective changes, right?
Yeah,
they
exactly.
look at me in a different light, and that is nice. But it's also about everything that I've learned.
Yeah.
This is the interesting thing about experiences like these, that right now I've just finished my internship a few weeks ago, and I'm still soaking it all in, right?
Yeah.
But the things that have happened in the last 1 month
Yeah.
will resonate with me for the next 30 years.
30 years. Yeah.
You know, and then 30 years down the line, I'll be faced with some situation, and I'll think, oh hey, remember back when I was CEO for 1 month and this had happened and this is how they had dealt with it. That's where the learning actually manifests itself.
Yeah, that's great. That really sounds good. So let's have one fun activity. That is rapid fire. Okay. We had great conversation about the Adecco and बहुत ज्ञान दे दिया. अब थोड़ा सा fun करते हैं.
Okay.
So let's go with rapid fire question. अगर आपकी life एक book होती तो what would be its title?
Okay, if my life were a book, okay, 2-3 चीज़ें आ रही है mind में. So it could be, you know, the price of perfection, because I'm always seeking perfection. And I'm very particular about these things, and it always stresses me out.
Okay.
It could be funny little thing called life. Yeah, funny little thing called life, because I think humor is very important.
Okay.
But you know, when I think about it, I think the correct answer would be, I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out, because that's where I am right now. So that would be my life. I don't know yet.
That's great. That sounds good.
Yeah, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. What habit holds you back?
One habit that holds me back is that I always overload myself with work. I constantly bite off more than I can chew. Please do not do this to yourself.
Cool. Name a person who inspires you.
My parents have been my biggest inspiration all throughout my life. And especially, I think, as a young girl, it's very important to have a female role model.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, that has been my mom all throughout my life. Hi, Ma. And she has been a professional for 27-28 years, and she's my North Star. She's my guiding light. I always turn to her for advice, and you know, I try to make myself more and more like her.
Oh, that's great. Name 3 books that you want to suggest the audience.
Okay, so I'll give you 3 books like this. The first one is a book that is very moving.
Okay.
The second one is a fun one. And the third is going to be one about economics, so that everybody can get aboard the economics train.
Sure.
So the first book is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Okay.
It's a very beautiful, very moving book. It will make you cry. And once you're done crying, you can read A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, which is a fun book which will make you laugh. And the last book, which is about economics, I would recommend Freakonomics, which is about the fun side of economics. And while we're at it, can I also recommend a movie?
For sure.
Okay, so my favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption. And I thought I could not leave this out. Please, please, please watch this movie. Yeah.
So, describe your style in one word.
Comfort. Absolute comfort, yeah.
So, what is the one thing that you are waiting for long time to happen?
So, CEO for 1 month was something I was waiting for ever since I heard about it, and it happened, and I feel so grateful. Now I'm going to graduate in 6 months, so looking towards the future, I want to start working, so looking at good job opportunities. One thing that I've been waiting for a really long time and has not happened yet is I want to finish my Trinity grade 8 in vocals. and I've done my grade 7, but
Okay.
grade 8 की गाड़ी अटकी हुई है. So let's hope it happens.
Yeah, good luck for that.
Thank you.
Let's move to this or that. And are you optimistic or realistic?
Optimistic, always.
Cool. Early bird or night owl?
I sleep early and I wake up late.
Nice. Social life or living alone?
I like being by myself.
Cool. So let's go proceed with the podcast. And my question is, what are your major and minor setbacks you have observed or experienced till now in personal or anything, like maybe in your CEO wala life, in various things, and you would like to share with us?
Okay. One thing, rejection is always going to be there, right?
Okay.
I got CEO for 1 month, but the story behind it is that I applied to a lot of internships where I did not get in. So that is something that will always happen, and you have to deal with rejection, because I believe, everything happens for a reason. Something else is waiting for you. And one major thing that I have dealt with, and it's been very difficult, is imposter syndrome. Now, imposter syndrome is when, they say fake it till you make it.
Yeah, fake.
Yeah. Imposter syndrome is when you tell yourself that you are faking it and you don't know anything, you don't know what you're doing, and everybody is going to find out someday.
Okay.
So this is something I struggled with when I got selected as the CEO for 1 month. Every day at the office, I'd be like, am I worthy enough of this? Am I the right person for this? Did they make a mistake? It's just your own anxiety.
Oh. So, okay.
It happens, you have to deal with this.
Okay. So you have a knowledge of maybe at various things, as you talk about Western vocals, economics and CEO leadership. So how do you manage this overwork when you get all things at a time, and if how you are sailing to all this in a one boat together? So if you face anything about that, how did you counter that part?
Okay. First of all, you flatter me. You're too kind. I don't have knowledge about all of these things. I'm still learning. But that is true. I mentioned also, I spread myself too thinly. Over the years, I've learned that it's very important to prioritize. You have to decide what is important then and there. There's this thing called the, urgent important matrix.
Yeah.
Where you decide if things are urgent, urgent, not important, not urgent.
Important. Yeah.
Use tools like that. They're very helpful. Also, it's very...
But वो नहीं होता ना, implement करने तो दिक्कत है.
हाँ, वो सही बात है. I think very important thing वहाँ पे is to be able to say no.
Okay.
मैं ना हर चीज के लिए I'm like, हाँ दे दो, ये भी कर लूंगी, वो भी कर लूंगी. Somebody will call up, hey Roshni, can you help me out with this? I'm like, yeah, okay, ये भी कर लेती हूँ.
Okay.
You can't do that all the time. Learn to say no. I don't have time for this. I need to finish other things first. You have to prioritize.
Okay, that's great. Sounds good. So, like you found that CEO wala thing on D2C and Unstop. So, what are the other platform you would like to suggest audience to be on that platform constantly view to grab the opportunity? Not like always as CEO, but anything about competitions, scholarships, or anything related which can boost their confidence and they can move ahead from the people.
Right. So absolutely, D2C now called Unstop is a great platform because a lot of companies post their internships and programs there. Apart from this, you can always go on to LinkedIn. Okay. LinkedIn is great. Network with people, connect with people.
Again, as you said, network. So how network played the important role in your life?
So networking, so far, I feel like with CEO for 1 month, I was able to build that network, which hopefully I'll be able to use in the future.
Okay.
Right? And one more thing about networking is, so when it comes to CEO for 1 month, it was a very, it had nothing to do with networking. It was something I applied to independently. But the more you meet different people, you're able to learn so much from them.
Okay.
And it's very important to keep a note of who you're meeting and keep these numbers handy, because eventually you might feel, oh, you know what, this company has a great opportunity and I know this person, I had met them at this event who works in the HR department of that company.
Yeah.
Give them a call, you know, just do it correctly. There are correct ways of doing it. Approach politely. Network with people on LinkedIn. Companies post their internships on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
And I think a very important thing is we're all interested in something, right? We're all keen on doing something.
Yeah.
Look at where you want to be. Look at the people that you want to be. For example, if I want to work at a really big company, at a specific post, look at what that person is doing. Look at how they got there. Look at opportunities in that company and apply everywhere. We're so hesitant to apply because we're so afraid of being rejected. But no, go apply everywhere. That's very important. Trying is important.
Yeah. So, as vice person said, network is your net worth.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes. So true.
Okay. So, what are your future plans?
So, my future plans currently are I have 6 months left of college, so going to make the most of them.
Okay.
Will try to enjoy it as much as I can, and also, you know, put out a really good dissertation, which is something I have to work on. After college, my plan is I want to work close to the field of economics for 2, maximum 3 years. I'm setting a strict timeline for myself.
Okay.
After which I will be doing my master's in economics.
Oh,
so
that's really...
that is the, 2, 3, 4 year plan.
That's really now sounds good. So it was a great time to have a conversation with you, and thank you for giving such a value addition content for us, and it was really great and fun too.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time talking to you, and I hope me being here actually helped somebody. And if anybody wants to know anything about CEO for 1 month or how they can apply, I'm always willing to help them and get in touch. Always ready.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.